Hey guys, so the number one reason why we don't talk about products to our customers on a very consistent basis that are above and beyond the low-hanging fruit, right? And when I say low-hanging fruit, I'm talking about the repairs or the maintenance or the reason why we actually got called out, because that stuff has to be done anyway. So those tickets are pretty much guaranteed. We don't have to do a whole lot to solidify that revenue or solidify those approvals. It's the other stuff. It's the add-on stuff, the enhancements to their system. And a lot of people feel like, well, I don't want to talk to my customers about this, that, and the other thing, or IAQ or whatever have you, because I'm afraid of, selling them something. I don't want to, be pushy, or I don't want to sell them something that they didn't necessarily ask about. But see, that's our job. It's not to sell, it's to educate. So it depends on what position you take. I mean, if you want to go in as a salesman, if you want to go in and say your traditional, salesperson, you're going to go in and ask, oh, does anybody in the house suffer from asthma or allergies? And oh yeah, tell me all about it, and blah, 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 blah. And you're setting somebody up for a presentation. Whereas in your position, I mean, the best way to do that is simply educate. So it's not taking a sales role, it's about educating your customers. And if you educate your customers and tell the proper stories, the reality is they're just going to want to buy stuff from you when you're done. So you're not really selling anything, you're educating and empowering them with information they need to make an informed, educated decision, so then they can go ahead and make that decision. But you're not shoving anything down their throat. So that process it's a story, right? I mean, it's a story timeline process that we have to follow, or we should follow. I mean, that's where we're going to find the most results. Is let's say you're there on a breakdown, or you're there on a maintenance appointment, and you walk in, you're going to be in the hallway. Typically, there's a return air grill right there in the ceiling or in the wall. Take a picture of that return air grill, whether it be a stamp faced or a bar style. I mean, is there a bunch of dust buildup? Is there a bunch of stuff on that grill itself? Open up that grill, take a picture of that filter and the condition that it's in when you arrive. Remove the filter, take another picture of where the connection for the duct is to the can. Is that all sealed? Can you see light through it into the attic? Maybe wipe the inside of the flex duct or the rigid duct and see if there's any dust buildup on the inside of that duct. I mean, if you have dust in there, it's obvious that filter is not stopping all of the debris that are being drawn into the system whenever that blower is on. And when you get up in the attic or wherever the equipment is, the interior portion of the system is, and you take that take the blower cabinet door off, take a picture of the blower assembly, take a picture of the insulation inside that cabinet, take a picture of that entire area as well as the blower wheel, so that you can start to talk about a story from the grill all the way up to the bottom side of the coil. So if you can get pictures from the grill all the way to the bottom side of the coil, you just created a timeline, you just created a storyline, better yet, where you can walk the customer through step by step what's happening with their existing system. So, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, when I was doing the diagnostic, doing a full evaluation of the system while I was out here, here's some of the things that I noticed. I mean, when the system turns on, when the air conditioner turns on or the furnace turns on, here's the path of air, right? Here's what happens. The blower turns on, it draws the air in through this return air grill, through the filter, and then into your system to be conditioned, heated, or cooled, and dehumidified. And then it gets redistributed throughout the rest of the home. So what's happening right now is I noticed that you have a stamp face grill up there, which tends to be a little bit more restrictive and a little bit more dust buildup and everything on there on a month in and month out basis. So I don't know how often you clean that grill, but here's what it looked like when I got here. I did go ahead and wipe that all down and clean that all up for you, so it's all cleaned up and it looks really good now. Then the air hits the filter. Now here's what your filter looked like when I got here. I went ahead and changed that as part of today's service, so you got a brand new filter in there that's going to be working for you. Now behind the filter, after the air has been filtered and entering into your system, the first place you're going to see is that return air duct. And here's what the return air duct looks like. You got some leakage here, or you have no leakage, which is great, because a lot of times we find that there's gaps and cracks inside this connection point, and we're actually drawing hot and unconditioned air from the attic. But in your case, that's all been sealed up really, really nice, so you don't have to worry about any of that. But I did notice some dust buildup on the inside of that ductwork itself, and you can see that in this picture here. And then here's what your blower compartment, your blower wheel, and all that looks like. Now I went ahead and cleaned all that stuff out. So we disinfected the entire area. Matter of fact, the first time we turn your system on, you're probably going to smell a little bit of like a clean smell, right? You're going to notice that it's going to have a little bit of a smell for maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a couple minutes tops. And all that is I wipe the entire area down with disinfectant wipes so that we don't have anything building up or anything that could possibly grow in there, right? And then this final picture here is of the underside of your coil. So after the air has been conditioned, through the furnace or moved through your furnace and is entering into the coil, this is the second filter inside your system. And so this is what it looks like right now. Your system's X amount of years old, and you can see that the filter that's in there right now is not really doing a super effective job. Otherwise, this whole area from the blower up would have been completely clean. So I can't really just clean the coil because it's actually I have to pull the whole thing apart. So we have the option that we can go ahead and clean that coil for you, and it's going to be X amount of dollars to do so. But understand your coil, it's a dark place. It's a case coil. So the first job of an air conditioner is to dehumidify. So we're going to be drawing the moisture out. That's why all air conditioners have drains on them. So it's a dark place. It's a damp place, and stuff tends to like to grow in those areas. So it's something that we can just go ahead and clean, but we know that over time it's just going to come back again due to the conditions. So what we do for a lot of our customers is we give you a couple of options. The first option is that we go ahead and install this Healthy Climate UV light. You probably saw that in that book that I gave you before I went into your attic. And all that does is it creates an artificial ultraviolet light that we can shine directly on that coil itself. And see, ultraviolet doesn't allow stuff to grow. It kills living organisms. And that's a good thing when you're talking about a dark, damp, place with a food source, so that nothing can grow on that coil. It's going to keep that coil much cleaner, which is going to increase and make sure we maintain the proper airflow through the system. It's also going to take the stress off of the system, which is good. But more importantly, it's going to ensure you and your family are breathing the cleanest, healthiest, safest air. Now, that typically takes about 30 minutes for me to install. I have one on the truck that's something that I can go ahead and do for you right now if you want, and it would cost $700. And see what they say. That would be one way to present the ultraviolet bulbs in the coils. If you want to give options like we've been talking about, maybe you lead with the Care Air product, and then your second option is the UV light, and maybe your third option is some sort of filter, or maybe it's just a coil clean with an enhanced filter, something of that nature. You decide based on the interaction you've had with the customer, but give them the options after you've painted a story. So walk them through step by step what's going on now. They make it visual so that they can see it and have your story presented that way. Once they know what's going on and the consequences from it, they're more apt to go, you know what, man, what does one of those things cost? Which is then, of course, a buying sign, and we can answer that question and then go for the close again. Again, I'm not saying that we want to push products down anybody's throats, because that's not what we do. But it is our job, it is our responsibility to make sure that our customers understand exactly what their current situation is and what options are available to them to enhance or improve the existing conditions. That's what we do. That's educating. That's not necessarily, and educating leads to selling, quite frankly. So it's not high pressure. It's not, we're just trying to sell stuff to sell stuff. We're trying to help the customer out, and you can only do that when you first educate them on where they are, what the consequences are of staying where you are, and where you would suggest they go. Now, even if they don't want the products, if you've just simply been educational the entire time and told a great story with a timeline or a picture line and educate them through that, they now are empowered to make whatever decision they want. If they tell you, you know what, man, I don't want it. I'm not gonna spend any of that money. There's no way I'm gonna spend any of that stuff. Hey, no problem. I just want to make sure that I educate you on everything, gave you all your options, and do some research after I leave. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to give us a call. We just want to make sure that all of our customers have this information, because our industry has changed so much and there's been so many enhancements and and then leave it at that. No big deal. But some are going to ask more questions. They may want to do some more research. You may have to go back through that little black book and talk directly about what Care Airs do, what the UV does, what the MERV 16, what the MERV 11. So first and foremost, if you are not an expert on all the IAQ products that we have, if you don't know what MERV stands for, if you don't know what HEPA stands for, if you don't know what a UV light does, if you don't know the difference between a Healthy Climate UV light and a Care Air, you need to learn that stuff first. So do your research. Make sure that you're asking your fellow employees and managers, hey, what is the benefits? How does this work? What's going on when this happens or that happens? When I see this, how can I stop that? And then start just talking to your customers about it. I mean, if you do that, there's no way that your sales, IAQ sales, won't go up. And this is one of those items where, when people invest in something like this, they're lifers. That creates loyalty. It creates positive reviews. It creates a great experience for the customer. Yes, they spent money, but people spend money every single day. Drive down, to the mall. Look how many cars are parked in the mall every single night, or in a restaurant, or at a store's party. People are spending money, but this is something that they can actually invest in their home. They're going to feel and see a positive impact or change, and they're going to like us more because of it. So again, it's not about customer satisfaction. That's a minimum. It's about customer loyalty. And customer loyalty comes from creating an experience for the customer that nobody else can match. And that experience, that We Care way, is really about the stories and empowering each one of our customers to make informed, educated decisions. When we do that on every call, they will tend to make the right decisions for them, not for us. And when they make the right decisions for them, they're going to love us even more. So great job, guys. Keep up the hard work. Anything I can do for you, please call me, reach out, email, text, whatever you need. But keep doing a great job and learn those products. Start working on your process on how you step into these conversations without just going into a sales pitch. And then ask for the order, man. Give them some options. Be quiet, see what they choose, and they're going to choose some stuff. So happy selling. If you need anything, give me a call. Talk soon.